Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of the KSPNtv Sports Center. I'm your host for today, Liborio Gudino, as Rico Arce was not able to make it today, but we have today as a special guest, Josh Mechanic. Josh, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
And as usual, we're going to bring in the weekly scores that happened last week, as well as what's going to happen this week. And it was, as we are going to see now, a crucial week, as it was possibly the last week of the season. And on Tuesday, they actually went against the Foresters and they actually won that game 7-5. Then they played the Foresters again. That time they lost 7-4. Played the Foresters two more times, then both of them they lost. And they needed to win that last game yesterday against the Academy Barons, and they actually did. But to get a little bit more insight on that, we have Josh. What were your thoughts on overall on this week?
Well, we knew going into the week that it was a battle between us and the Blues, but with how difficult the Foresters are, the Oaks really just wanted to make sure they didn't get swept in that series, just win a game or two. And getting that first one out of the way was just big for them because once we won that first game, we knew that one more win was most likely going to get us into the playoffs, just with the Blues' tough schedule. And after going into Sunday's contest, winning in for the Oaks against the Barons, who struggled mightily, and the Oaks took care of business, and so did the Foresters against the Blues. It worked out. The Oaks didn't even need to rely on the tiebreaker. They got that last playoff spot on their own merit.
Yeah, so it was a big win. And as we are about to see now, the playoffs have started and they're going to play tomorrow, as we are about to see here, the OC Riptide. What are your thoughts on that game, Josh?
Well, it's going to be very interesting because the Riptide and Oaks have had a very competitive series this summer. And down in OC, that's where the Oaks are traveling to tomorrow. The Oaks have struggled a bit. So it'll be interesting to see how tomorrow goes. But luckily for the Oaks, Cole Fisher, who's arguably the best pitcher, is starting on the mound. And so the Oaks are look to get some length out of him tomorrow for sure.
Yeah. And so, well, the winner on that game actually is going to play the Arroyo Seco Saints after that. So it's going to be a big week. We obviously hope for the Conejo Oaks to make it as far as they can in the playoffs. Anything you'd like to add, Josh?
Yeah, it's a bizarre scenario for the Oaks. So this weekend, OC doesn't have their field booked, and due to that fact, the Oaks will be hosting the championship, whether or not they're in it. So the Oaks are hoping extra hard that they're in this championship because it's going to be played at their home ballpark either way. And if they're not there, they're just going to be watching two other teams playing on their home field. And that's also cool because that means all get to be in attendance and potentially on the call for a couple of those games as well.
Yeah, it's interesting. So anyone who's in this area and want to go watch the college playoff games, definitely go to Cal Lutheran and watch that game. Other than that, I believe this concludes this another episode of the KSBN TV Sports Center. My name is Eborio Gudino. We had Josh Mechanic here, and we are out.